What's up, guys? Wade here from Tables, Ladders, and Bumps to review part two of the Great American Bash for NXT tonight. And boy, was this an insane episode. This might be my favorite episode of NXT this year. I was really shocked by some of the results from this event, and I enjoyed all of the backstage segments with Hank and Tank. And guys, if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. We have tons of wrestling content on here. And yeah, let's get into it. So as I mentioned, the main theme throughout the whole episode was Hank and Tank's barbecue that most of the people in the roster attended at different points. There were some scuffles that they had to break up. And yeah, overall, I really love Hank and Tank. So I was pumped that they had kind of this through line throughout the episode. And yeah, overall, pretty funny stuff. But NXT started off with Trick Williams versus Pete Dunne. And in a shocker, Pete Dunne defeated Trick Williams. I expected this match to end with Sheamus interfering, and either Pete Dunne loses that way, or there's a kind of a DQ and not actually a finish. But Pete Dunne pulled it out. Now the commentators, I don't even think realized uh, that there was an exposed turnbuckle because it didn't. The pad didn't get cleanly ripped off. It got kind of pulled down when Trick went in for the trick shot. That gave Pete Dunne an opening to hit his finisher, and Pete Dunne won. In my opinion, this is probably Trick Williams' best match versus someone not named Ilya Dragunov. I was really impressed with how Trick looked, but he's against one of the best workers on the roster, so I don't know how I feel about it completely. But he had really good chemistry with Pete Dunne, and yeah, Pete Dunne's great. So I think that they are going to run this back. They had a fight backstage again, so it looks like that's what's going to happen. In another title match, Kehlani Jordan retained versus Tatum Paxley for the North American title. I was a bit disappointed with the ending of this match. I like Tatum Paxley. Her character's kind of weird. I just accept that that's how it is for NXT. She has some pretty good talent. I like Kehlani Jordan too. My only thing is, I felt like this NXT episode was very false finish heavy. They did give everyone a lot of time. I feel like most of the matches were over 10 minutes, but it seemed like to me, uh, it got to the point where Tatum Paxley hit so many finishers and different maneuvers uh, that Kehlani Jordan should not have kicked out. She's a pretty new wrestler, and her having um, kind of Hulk Hogan plot armor, I was not a huge fan of. It's one thing with Trick Williams doing it. He's had and Pete Dunne. They're at a different level than Kalani Jordan, or even Roxanne Perez in her matches. She's even multiple time NXT world champion. So that just kind of bothered me a little bit. It was a little nitpick, but overall, it was a pretty good match. Tatum Paxley has hit a 450 splash at one point. But yeah, overall, really good match. I thought Kalani's selling was really good throughout this match, though. She hurt her knee at one point in the match and did a really good job selling, especially for someone as new as her. That was really, really impressive to me. Also, Joe Hendry wrestled Joe Coffey. I felt kind of weird about my expectations for this match. I like Joe Hendry. Not the biggest fan of Gallus. Joe Coffey has okay matches, but I thought they had really good chemistry. Joe Hendry ended up pulling out the victory, and he was a super strategic, smart babyface throughout this match. Before the match even started, he jumps out of the ring, lands on two of the Gallus guys, and then starts brawling with Joe Coffey. Joe Coffey was pretty fast in this match. He was Yeah, they have really good chemistry overall. I like the ferocity that Joe Coffey was bringing. I thought this is one of his better singles matches that I've seen. Maybe it's just because I like Joe Hendry a lot. And at one point, Joe Hendry used, I don't know if I've seen Eddie Guerrero do this exact technique, but Eddie Guerrero uses the chair and a noise to basically make the ref see, make it look like he's been hit. Instead of hitting the chair on the mat or something to make the noise, so the ref turns around and throws it to him, he threw it. I believe he first threw it to the Gallus guys, and then jumped onto the table, the announcer table, where they have that kind of wooden thing on top, and it made a large noise. That makes the ref look. He ejects them. I really liked how that done. I thought that was pretty cool and unique. I've not seen many people use it in that exact way. And yeah, ends up pulling through and defeating Joe Coffey with the rest of Gallus in the back. We knew that that was what was going to happen, and um, Joe Hendry announced that he is going to um, be in NXT long term. I've heard there's some weird contract that's going on. I'm not a newsbreaker, but that seems like something that is happening. So I'm excited to see where that goes. And with NXT going to CW, it seems like they want some big names. Uh, I know they have CM Punk and Randy Orton going to be at the first two shows, but I think Joe Hendry is going to be a part of that, really trying to bring in as many viewers as possible. Next match, we had Ren Sinclair versus uh, Kendall Gray. Now, I like both of these wrestlers a lot. Ren Sinclair, I've really been enjoying her interaction with the No Quarter Catch crew and Charlie Dempsey. It's she has a really good personality, and it's coming through now that she's not playing a babyface. I like her banter. Uh, I've seen some of her stuff from the indies where I believe she like referred to herself as a main character and was like a really good heel, calling you mean girls that she would be going against side characters. And yeah, I just feel like she's doing a really, really good job in this role. It's fun. Her wrestling in the ring is awesome. Kendall Gray, who she was going against, they have amazing chemistry. I know that Gray had, she's a really seasoned amateur wrestler, three-time NAI champion, national champion, and she's only been at the Performance Center for less than a year and is already putting on really good matches. I'm impressed with her. I think the sky's the limit for both of these girls. Uh, Ren did win clean, I believe. Yes, she won clean without the help of the No Quarter Catch crew. There was a little, uh, basically, Tony Tony D went to the No Quarter Catch crew and said, "Hey, if she beats this girl, I'll give Charlie Dempsey a title shot." Charlie Dempsey said, "Hey, if you win this match, you can be part of the crew." So now she's part of the crew, and next week Charlie Dempsey has a Heritage Cup match against Tony D. I'm predicting Charlie Dempsey to win because Tony D definitely annoyed Obafemi multiple times in this episode, and I think Obafemi is going to interfere at some point in this match. And lastly, in a shocker, Nathan Frazier and Axiom retain versus MSK. I thought that they were going to have MSK get these belts, and it was going to be a really cool relationship with TNA where you have the NXT tag belts going over to TNA and they defend them over at TNA. I thought that was something that would have been really cool. However, Nathan Frazier and Axiom won. This is by far the best match of the night. I believe the second best match was definitely Ren Sinclair and Kendall Gray. But yeah, this match very fast. You saw a lot of crazy moves, and the technique in this was these guys. Every single person's in this match. Their precision and technique is a 10 out of 10. It's really impressive how they can just pinpoint these moves so well, and especially at the speed that they're moving, how they're able to do this. It's truly impressive. I believe Wes Lee was the one who got pinned. I could be wrong, but I thought that the Rascals were going to turn on Wesley at the end of it. There was a weird thing where they're hugging and it's the camera's on them too long. If you've watched wrestling, you know, okay, there's going to be a heel turn. I expected to be those two on uh, Wesley, but no, he turned on the Rascals, beats up both of them. Uh, I can't, honestly, I forget who's who for the Rascals because I just got kind of introduced to these guys somewhat recently. Hits a super kick on one, low blow on the other. Really, just fatalities, both of these guys. It was pretty intense, especially for NXT. And yeah, Wesley has turned heel. He was telling one of the guys, "You abandoned me. I was left by myself." All this stuff. I'm really excited for this new character change for Wesley. I think he is one of the best wrestlers in North America. He's really talented. The whole time last year when I was watching Wesley and Carmelo Hayes, I liked Melo. I always felt like Wesley was better than Melo at everything. He is a little bit smaller, but in the ring, he's better. And I thought character work and everything, he can play a really, really good babyface, and he can play a really, really good heel. I think Melo's doing a great job on the main roster, and I think the sky's the limit for him. So I'm not trying to bash on Melo. This is just talking about how good Wesley is. So I'm really intrigued to see what kind of heel run they do for him. I don't I don't know what belt he's gonna go for because you have Obafemi for North American. He's not allowed to actually challenge for it against Obafemi, I believe. And do you have him go against Ethan Page? Ethan Page is also a heel, but if you make Wesley even more of a heel than him, I guess it's kind of a weird dynamic a little bit. So I'm really excited to see what they do with that in particular. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below. Did you think this was probably the best NXT episode of the year? Did you think it was just okay? Did some of the matches disappoint you? Do you like Hank and Tank as much as me? Let us know in the comments below.